You know, in every relationship, there's the stuff we talk about all the time. And then there's the stuff that's deeply felt but almost never said out loud. Today, we're going to get into one of the biggest unspoken desires that men often have. And honestly, it might not be what you think at all. So let's just ask the question right up front. What is this deep-seated, often totally silent desire? I'll tell you right now, the answer isn't about big grand gestures or buying expensive things. Nope, it's something way more fundamental, and we're about to break it all down. Now, you might be expecting some long, complicated list of psychological needs, right? But it's really not that. The answer actually boils down to one single incredibly powerful idea that, well, it pretty much sits at the very heart of the entire relationship. And here it is. It all comes down to this simple phrase. See, it's not just about being loved or even about being needed. It's about feeling genuinely wanted. Not wanted for what you can provide, but wanted for who you are. And trust me, that one little distinction is the key to everything else we're about to get into. Okay, so if this core desire is to feel wanted, how does that actually play out in a relationship? Well, one of the clearest, most obvious ways is through the simple, easy comfort of just being close. And we're talking about a very specific kind of touch here. This isn't touch that's, transactional or a signal that's supposed to lead somewhere else. It's just about connection. It's about comfort. It's a quiet way of saying, hey, I just like being here with you, with absolutely no strings attached. And just look at how simple these examples are, right? Just lying together in silence, a hand on your back that isn't in a hurry. Even something as mundane as showering together, without it needing to be this big romantic moment. These small things, they create a space for physical contact is all about reassurance and just being present, nothing more. Now, this desire for comfort, it doesn't just stop at the physical. It goes way deeper, into the whole emotional atmosphere of the relationship. So the next unspoken need is for a home that feels like a sanctuary, not a second job. This is so crucial. Peace does not mean silence. It doesn't mean you avoid tough conversations. It's about the underlying energy of your home being calm. It's that feeling of walking through the front door and being able to finally let your guard down, to let your nervous system take a deep breath after a long, stressful day out in the world. And when you have that sense of peace, it leads directly to our next point, the totally interconnected world of play, intimacy, and desire. Because when you feel wanted, you feel safe enough to be playful, and you feel desired enough for intimacy to just happen without it feeling like some kind of negotiation. So what does this actually look like in real life? It's the freedom to just be silly together, to tease each other, to laugh, to do goofy things without worrying about being judged for it. And when it comes to intimacy, it means it's just a natural, regular part of your connection. It's not something you have to schedule or track like you're keeping score. It's the huge difference between feeling genuinely desired versus feeling like you're getting affection as a chore or like a favor. Okay, so all of these things we've talked about, the closeness, the peace, the playfulness, they all build up to this one single critical distinction. And that is the profound difference between feeling wanted and feeling merely needed. This chart just breaks it down perfectly. Look, on one side, you have needed for, what I provide, my protection, the role I play. It's all about function, it's transactional. But on the other side, wanted for, it's about who I am, my presence, for just me. That's being valued for your actual self. And believe me, the difference between those two is absolutely massive. So what happens when a man truly feels wanted in this deep way? Well, the outcome is incredibly powerful, and it can fundamentally change the entire dynamic of the relationship, for the better. I think this idea is so important. When someone feels genuinely wanted, not just put up with, not managed like an employee, not used for what they can do, their natural instinct is to give more of their effort, more of their affection, more support. And the best part, it happens freely without anyone even having to ask. And that really brings us to the final, powerful takeaway of this whole thing. Look, you can build a relationship on obligation and duty, for sure, but it will never, ever be as strong as one built on genuine desire. That feeling of being truly wanted, that's what creates a deep, lasting loyalty that obligation alone could never touch. So as we wrap this up, it kind of leaves us with one last question to think about. In the quiet moments and the daily routines of our own lives, what are the deep desires that might be going unspoken? It's definitely something worth thinking about.